Welcome in. It is Thursday. It is time to chase some clout. I am your clout missioner, Captain Tyrion Guidel, the most dashingly handsome pirate in all of professional wrestling. And welcome to All Influencer Wrestling. We are kicking things off with the witch hunter, Gabriel Van Hessel. Ending the last season, losing the Sold Clout Championship, Van Hessel seems to have picked up some new orders from the Vatican and has begun targeting the more magical and supernatural inclined elements of our roster. Faced off against Lady Aria last week, and he has picked a daunting new target to kick things off tonight. Loads of clout chasing action in store for you tonight, including two major title defenses. The Intercontinental Championship is on the line. Against all odds, Mac earned a title shot last week and will be facing the current Intercontinental title holder, Stephen Joyce, in an underground match. And in our main event, in a Falls Count Anywhere stipulation, your Sold Clout champion, DC Lasser, will be facing possibly his toughest challenge yet in Jeneth Astorio. First up, though, Van Hessel's opponent tonight. Representing the Trailblazers, accompanied by his brother Victor.
And his opponent, accompanied by Dr. Victor West. Representing the Trailblazers. From Transylvania, Romania. Weighing in at 400 pounds, Taylor
I said Van Hessel had chosen a daunting opponent for himself tonight, and I was not kidding. The stitched together, reanimated Taylor West, seemingly perhaps an abomination in the eyes of the Vatican, in the eyes of Van Hessel. This is certainly going to be a different match than his facing off against Lady Winter last week. Just look at the way that Taylor towers over the Vatican's Bulldog. And is immediately getting brought to heel. Taylor West dismantling right out of the gate Gabriel. And we should also note, though, there is a bit of perhaps poetic irony going on in this match, because note the glowing green, the stitches on the body of Taylor West, and how closely they mirror the eyes of Van Hessel. Perhaps Van Hessel has chosen West as a way of dealing with something deep within himself. And if so, I gotta say, I think therapy may have been the better option. The way that this is looking for Van Hessel, this is not going well. Over the shoulder, just fireman's carry and bouncing off the turnbuckle. Van Hessel has been destroyed. Kicks out though, finds that divine intervention, powers out at 2. And went for the counter, but no, counter again, and a big clothesline. Van Hessel finally getting a look in this match. Stomps the fingers of Taylor West. desperately trying to take down the undead giant, keeping him grounded. This is smart ring strategy by Van Hessel. He cannot allow West to get back to his feet. As long as he can keep the big man down, there is a chance for the Witch Hunter. Elbow strike right to that stitched chest of West. And working over the arms, taking out that powerful striking offense, trying to perhaps reduce the reach of Taylor West. And double axe handle back down to the spine, really just working all over the upper body of Taylor. Back to the wrist and the fingers, just stomping a hole and going mid-rope. Signaling for West to get up and face divine retribution, and that is what happens. Clubbing blow from the top, and big spinning slam from Van Hessel. 1, 2, but the shoulder is up. And waiting, though, are we going to see it? Is he going to? And yes, end of days. Van Hessel plants Taylor West, and a definitive end. You have to ask yourself, was that opening segment of this match some form of punishment for Van Hessel? Some form of self-flagellation at the hands of Taylor West? Another supernatural victim, though, falls to the Witch Hunter. We saw this dominant streak by Van Hessel when he had the Sold Clout Championship, and it seems that losing that title has done nothing for his in-ring capability. He is on fire since he came back.
Here is your winner, the Witch Hunter.
Victor West looking on now, taking his brother back. He's going to have a few more stitches to add to that body now. What a result for Van Hessel. Well, we have to move right on. We've got a stacked card, plenty left to get to. So we'll be right back with our next match right after these short messages.
Luz tried everything to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. Hammers, axes, magic, saws, more magic, fire, even more magic, and magic explosions. Still, the door refused her. Why? After all this time and effort, why wouldn't the damn thing open? Sure, it was an enchanted door that would open the path to a potentially catastrophic amount of magic pouring back into the universe, causing endless natural disasters that would drown or bury most cities from existence. But there was an equally high chance that wouldn't happen, and that the magic had been sealed away by ignorant fools for nothing. She had to believe there was a reason why she could tap into a sliver of the magic locked behind the door. That this was it, her singular life purpose. Open the door. Restore its magic back to everyone like it used to be in the stories, where anyone could use magic, for good or bad. That had to be it, right? That had to be why she was standing here, in the door's pocket dimension, on a small plot of Earth, large enough for only one person to stand in front of it, swearing at this void black door with iridescent veins flowing along its surface like water, living, taunting her to just open it already. So why was it so hard to swing the damn thing wide? Somehow, she had shoved the door apart just a crack ages ago. A thin, wispy line of light seeped out of a seam down the center. Whenever she used teleportation magic, as she had decided to call it since she didn't know the correct term and hadn't seen others use it before, Probably because it was dangerous and required sliding through space and time, but who was counting? She tapped into a sliver of warmth and power to travel wherever she wished. She'd managed that slight opening unthinking as a child, then never again. What was she doing wrong now? Worse, what if she wasn't doing anything wrong? What if this door wasn't meant to open for her after all? What else could there be for her but this? After everything, after all that searching, what else could there be?
This has been an extract from The Void Door by V.M. Ayala. To read the full story, please visit beneath-ceaseless-skies.com and search for issue 378. And thank you for watching Masterpiece Theatre.
Welcome back and welcome to the Underground.
Scheduled for one fall and is for the Intercontinental Championship.
No ring ropes, KO or submission only. And I am as shocked as anyone that Mac earned this opportunity. Scored a victory in our first Underground match last week, and that locked her in for this. Sure to be a fun one. Two of our scrappiest clout chasers in Mac and Steven. And don't worry, Steven fans, she is not allowed to use those katanas in the match. Get ready to get out of your seats and start bouncing along. The Intercontinental Championship around his waist. The tiny hatted wonder himself, Stephen Joyce. Now, arguably, Mac does have a significant advantage in this match because she has fought in an Underground match once already. This is Steven's first time without the ropes with this stipulation. And Steven, generally being one of the more kind-hearted clout chasers, he's going to have to dig deep to find that fight within him to be able to knock out or submit Mac.
From overseas, Mac Lane. From Edinburgh, Scotland, weighing in at 158 pounds, the Intercontinental Champion, Stephen Joyce.
Some of the most fateful clout chasers gathering around the ring. You have to expect that Steven's going to be keeping an eye out for them to make sure that none of them get hurt, and I promise you, Mac is not going to care. That is why they are both here. The Intercontinental Champion. Here we go. The crowd are ready, and Mac with that big bulldog right out of the gate. Mac booting Steven halfway across the ring there. She has the opening hand very much well in. Don't forget though, we just saw that dominating performance by Taylor West in the beginning stretches of our last match, and look how that ended. Gabrielle Van Hessel standing tall. So just because Mac has that, and look at that amazing athleticism, I gotta give it to her. That, from a pure standing position, was very impressive. Steven really needs to get back into this somehow, some way, and that looks like he's gonna do it, and just absolutely hoying the shoulder of Mac into the turnbuckle. That's going to do it. Or the ring post, rather. There is no turnbuckle there. There is no padding on that. That was pure steel. This is what Steven needed. The crowd there very much into it, just baying for Steven to start lighting up Mac, and that is exactly what he is doing. Elbow strike, crowd moving out of the way, getting to a little bit more safety. And blows to the head. Trying for that knockout victory, perhaps. And what does Steven have in mind here? And a backstabber, knees to the spine, down goes Mac. Steven now the one very much in control, but as we've seen, these can flip on a gill. Turning his attention to the ankles of Mac now. Little bit of encouragement there, leaning down Steven, telling Mac she's doing a great job. And boots to the back of the leg. And knees to the face. And there's the submission locked in. He's got that leg hooked. No ropes to break. But with a spare boot to the face, Mac fights her way out. And again, standing assault from Mac. And a little bit of mind games, perhaps. They're both trying to decide which position to get into. And there, Mac oh, now that has to hurt. Crotch straddling that ring post there. And Mac hauls him back up and rolls over towards the crowd, who again move out of the way. Yep, get out of the way. We do not have insurance. You are there under your own risk, my friends. And down goes Steven, planted. Kicks to the spine. Mac keeping things on the outside. This is where she won the #1 contenders match to claim this. There's nothing preventing those competitors from staying on the outside as long as they want. But Steven now fighting back into this. Big blow. And down goes Mac once again. And again, bouncing the bonce right off of the ring post. That is a particularly hard skull, though. It's going to take a lot of effort to crack it. Steven, and manages to land the coup de grace, usually done off the top of the ring post. Can't get up there in these, but coup de grace from the top of the ring to the outside. That is going to hurt. But Mac, still conscious, didn't do enough to knock her out. If he can keep targeting those ribs, though, prime for a submission attempt. And there we go, and that's exactly what he's done. Look at the way he's getting that torque on Mac's spine, twisting, really capitalizing on that, but she rolls through and boot through the gut. She is able to fight her way free. Waits for Steven to get back up. And what does Mac have in mind? Well, whatever it is, it's not going to work. Sling blade landed by Steven. There he is once again with the encouragement. I think perhaps asking Mac, hey, just stay down after this one. And there's the missile dropkick after another sling blade. And just trying to now just choke her. Hey, trying to help Mac take a nap. And stomp to the face. Just go to sleep, he seems to be saying. And waiting, are we gonna see it? No, Mac counters what Stephen had in mind. And over and into the crowd. See, what did I say? What did I say? Mac does not care about the safety of the onlookers. Unlike Stephen, she happily used them as collateral damage. And once again, over and plants Stephen on the outside. He is still in this though, still moving. He is though stunned, and big swinging neck breaker. Stephen is in trouble. Mac waiting, stalking. And up and down, a swinging stunner. Is he still? No, he is still there. He is still good. Stephen is not taken out just yet. And counters and back into the ring post. That was a flurry of dangerous offense. Stephen needs to end this. We have to be getting into the closing stretches of this match. And back, oh no, not back into the, yes, back into the ring. Hurls are in like a sack of potatoes. And baseball kick to the side of the head. I've warned you before though, Mac's head is particularly dense, particularly strong, and working over the ankle now this time. Interesting choice. No tap out though. Stephen, I think, felt a little bad with that one. Seemed to willingly release the hold. And stomp onto the gut, steps through. And boot to... I can't tell if Mac actually just whacked Stephen in the junk, but that's certainly what it looks like. And up and over with the standing moonsault once again. Boot to the spine. He hauls his way back to his feet and counter. Big blow. And Mac desperately clinging on as Stephen clears the crowd from behind. Just waiting for Mac to get her balance. And hauls things back in. Stephen there looking out for the safety of his opponent and the crowd. And there's the sling blade once again. Elbow strike. This stipulation proving a little difficult for Stephen. One of his most dangerous moves in his arsenal, the coup de grace, difficult to do without those ring ropes. He has to get back onto the outsides to land it. And boots to the face. Mac once again taking that time to taunt Stephen. Chops to the chest. And she's got that hooked in. And big vertical suplex. Down goes Stephen. And scissors locked around. Is Stephen going to tap? Is he going to pass out? Is this enough for Stephen? No, he powers through. Able to break that hold. Up over the shoulders. And Mac, though, elbow able to fight through. Quick elbow strike sends Stephen down once again, giving us all a glorious look at what he's wearing under that kilt. And again, plants down, face busted, but Stephen's still in, and there's the legs wrapped around again. He is fading in that vice grip. Is he going to tap? Is he going to pass? No, he powers out. Once again, he's still there. Ducks through and Pele kick right to the head of Mac. Going right back there. He's gone back for that submission once again. And again, targeting those injured ribs. The knee is in there. Can Mac resist? Can she find a way out of this? And looks like Stephen releasing, deciding that wasn't going to do it. And here we go, and up, and 1916 ends it. That is that. What a match. Hell of a good fight from both those competitors. Stephen proving that he belongs in the underground arena. What a contest between these two. Well fought by both. Neither have anything to be ashamed of, both encouraging each other throughout the match. A wonderful display of sportsmanship between both clout chasers. Not something we always see, so it's nice too when we do. It took everything that Stephen had to get Mac to go down, but in the end, here is the final move it took, landing the 1916 as Mac passes out, and Stephen remains the Intercontinental Champion. His adoring public. It has taken Stephen so long to capture a title here in All Influencer Wrestling, and it looks good now he's got it. We have plenty, though, more clout chasing action up for you, so we'll be right back next after these short messages.
Hi, I'm Captain Turiant Guidel, most dashingly handsome pirate in all of Limsa and the Clout Missioner of All Influencer Wrestling. As a swashbuckling pirate, I know a thing or two about hats. And sometimes, even I feel the hats I own are just too big. So when I feel the need for minuscule millinery, there's only one place that comes to mind. TinyHatLabs.com. Tiny Hat Labs have always sought to push the boundaries of what's possible in client engagement millinery feedback solutions. Their guiding question remains the same today as it was when they were founded. What if small hat, but tiny? Operating at the nexus of science, engineering, artificial intelligence, art, fashion and design, Tiny Hat Labs seeks to pave the way to a paradigm shift in headpiece technology. While others ask, how much? TinyHatLabs.com asks, how little? I'm Captain Turiant Guidel, and TinyHatLabs.com is my favourite place for hats on the internet.
Welcome back, and we have tag action up for you next. 4 competitors, all in losing efforts last week, looking to regain a little bit of momentum.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for 1 fall. On the way to the ring, and a combined weight up in 2 pounds. Beautiful. Bob and handsome Hank.
The deadly duo, previously double clout champions, they failed to hold a victory over Candied Ginger in the unification match. Nothing to be ashamed of. Candied Ginger have been undefeated since season 1. But the duo looking to get right back on that incredibly fashionable horse, as is a team very much excited about the merging of the rosters.
And their opponents, the Captain and the Stage.
For the first time able to fully tag together, it is Team entering the arena. And it looks like it is going to be Beautiful Bob and Battlestar starting things out. This Bob with the early offense. Back rake to Val. And elbow strike to the back of the head. And a quick strike there by Kineas. And there goes Bob. Kineas there waiting. But the ref staring right at him, unable to really capitalize on that. And up, and vicious, huge amount of pressure placed on the knee with that strike by Battlestar. They've got to pay attention to that ref count though. 4 already reached. Flying elbow by Beautiful Bob. Val shakes it off and right back into the ring. And up, an atomic drop down that goes Battlestar, returning the favor there by Beautiful Bob. And slowing it down, wrenching the back of Battlestar, and once again going right there, clubbing blow right to the face, working over the spine. That notoriously bad back of Battlestar being a target for the duo, and there's the tag. It's Handsome Hank, now the legal competitor. And over the knee, right into the ribs. And Val rolls out to get a little bit of a moment to recover, but Hank is right there, not giving her that opportunity. And rolling into the ring. Taking a moment to pose for the crowd. Almost caught the ref with a boot on the vault in there and did get caught by Battlestar. Counter by Val. And a running clothesline sends Handsome Hank down to the mat. And looking for the tag now, and there it is, a fresh Chris Kineas enters the ring. And a running clothesline takes him down. And a quick jumped in there. I think he was trying to get a little bit of breathing room, but excellent maneuvering there by Handsome Hank. Dove over, made that tag. Not working out particularly well, though, for Beautiful Bob right now. And getting a little running move, and again, running clothesline right into the corner and smack in the middle of the ring. Feels like a bold move this early in, and indeed only a 1 count. And off into Team Tank Main's corner, and there's the tag. Battlestar now once again legal. Ziggler double team up, and a big overhead slam. Down once again, it goes Beautiful Bob. Val absolutely stomping a hole into the chest of Bob. Elbow strike right to that beautifully formed nose, and hook arm release suplex over, and taking a moment to strut for the crowd. I think Val didn't realize though there was a tag made behind, and there is Handsome Hank. Val let themselves get a little distracted, and now Hank is making them pay for that. And chokehold locked in. Kineas watching on. Seems to have faith in Val to be able to get out of it, and indeed they do. And slam down. And you got that leg hooked in deep. And indeed, I think Beautiful Bob was also worried there. Came in to break up that pinfall, but this is now a path to victory for Team Tank Main. That's the one and done as long as this tag is still made. As long as Handsome Hank is still the legal man, Bob is not going to be able to break up another pinfall. And going, look at the torque on that submission. Excellent ring awareness by Battlestar. Hank has nowhere to go, but able to work his way out of that. And there's the tag, and the duo are safe for now. Double elbow strike to Battlestar. Battlestar now in trouble. Kineas still very fresh on the outside. Val needs to tag her team partner in. What does Beautiful Bob have in mind? Elbow strike right to the gut. And there is Kineas immediately entering in. Knows how much damage Val has taken. Broke that pinfall up as early as possible. Val needs to get a big boot though by Beautiful Bob. This could be it. Battlestar is in trouble. And with a hair's breadth, Val gets the shoulder up. 2.99999 count. But Battlestar tanked through. And excellent maneuvering there. Yanks Beautiful Bob out of the ring. Turns our attention to Handsome Hank. Knocks him off the apron, but that gave Bob a moment to recover. And a flurry of offense by Battlestar. Suplex, down goes Bob, and this is the opportunity to make that tag now. All Kineas needs to do is pick up the pieces. And a big boot. And yelling for Bob to get up, but Hank has recovered on the outside, so thinks better of what he was going to do there. Saw Hank coming. And he's waiting. And kaboom! There is the cannon shot. Handsome Hank breaking up the pinfall. Could have very well been the match there. Kineas rolls through to the outside, thinks better of it, and once again, I'm not sure what exactly happened there. I think Battlestar got a little out of position and threw Kineas, but nonetheless, 2, is this going to do it? And enough punishment done to Beautiful Bob for their debut as a full tag team. Team Tankmane score the win. Excellent performance by the Duwu, nothing to be ashamed of. The real Tankmane of Team Tankmane, though, there had to be Battlestar. Kineas barely a participant in the match. Val essentially in a 2-on-1 for most of this. Didn't really seem to show much interest in tagging out. And it turned out it was a strategy that worked out well for them. Getting Kineas in there fresh at the end. We see here almost over for the Duwu there. And there's that boot that almost ended it for Tankmane. We can see, look at that ref's count. There's that 1, 2, and look how close. Hand on the way down, millimeters from the mat before Val's able to get that up. There's the cannon blast, and that was the beginning of the end for the Duwu. Distraction by Battlestar allowed Kineas to face plant Beautiful Bob for the 3. Intense tag action, but we have a hell of a lot more left to go. We will be right back for our next event after these short messages.
Captain Turiant Guidel, Cloud Commissioner of All Influencer Wrestling here, and I have a question for you. Do you like robots? Do you like space? Do you like queer romance? How about gay robots in space? Then you should read Emotional Resonance by V.M. Ayala, now available in print for the first time as part of the Best American Science Fiction and Fantasy 2024. See harpercollins.com for details.
One-on-one showcase match. Up next, fresh off claiming the spot as the #1 contender for the $1 million title, it's Fenris.
Making her way to the ring from Chicago, Illinois,
Tune-up match for Fenris in preparation for her title shot next week. Her opponent, though, is making the return to Season 3, and they're not going to make it easy on her. Serenity Spider, the current $1 million champion, is sure to be watching this match with great interest, learning all they can about Fenris's in-ring abilities, their style, technique, against a quite unpredictable opponent.
and her opponent, weighing in at that 1 pound,
Fenris, a dark, serious, hard-hitting cloud chaser. Bude, very much the opposite. This is going to be an interesting clash of styles, clash of personalities, just really clash of vibes. Fenris looking to use this as a warm-up for Serenity Spider, but from Bude's perspective, whilst that #1 contendership is not on the line, if they are able to defeat Fenris prior to that match, you have to imagine, regardless of the outcome of Fenris versus Serenity, if Bude comes out on top here, that is a almost certain title shot for them, regardless of how that match turns out. And locking up, and indeed out the gate, Bude, and look at this, Bude going for the pinfall just off of a back elbow strike. Bold move by Bude. I think that indeed has thrown Fenris off balance a little bit. Bude very much in control out of the gate. Just working over Fenris into the corner and wrench around and yelling, psyching up Bude, proving that they are not to be underestimated. Fenris though grabbing vice grip around the head and forces Bude back into the corner. I think Fenris at this point is incensed. Ref calls to break it up. Fenris forced to back off. Is indeed going right back for that. We got locked up in the middle. And a little bit of chain wrestling action going on right now. Working around and rolls through into the schoolboy. Only a 1 though. Fenris just outmaneuvering Bude in that exchange. Right back into it though. Technical expertise, chain and thrown to the floor and running clothesline. Down goes Fenris. And all the way up to the top. High risk. Will there also be high reward for Bude? Lands the double foot drop kick onto Fenris and going right back up mid-rope this time. And a flying elbow. Rolls Fenris, tried to get into position, but a knee strike reverses the momentum. And now tied up in the ropes. Boot right to the gut. And Fenris, oh my, look at the wrench. Look at the position that Bude was just contorted into by the Dark Wolf. And Fenris getting the full run up, but Bude took that moment to recover, and I think Fenris thought Bude was going to be down for a lot longer than that. Big old boot to the face, 1, 2, and out at the 2 count, and Fenris realizing at this point she needs to take this very seriously. Up to the mid rope, and a splash off the middle rope right across the ribs of Fenris. And kick out, still fighting into it, but Bude putting in a very impressive performance. Slows it down now. And slow it down perhaps a little too much. Fist to the ribs and a bouncing whip off the rope. And look at the way just bouncing. Full rotation off of that drop kick. Only a 1 count though. Bude still very much in this. You cannot keep them down. And the hip toss. Bude planted down. Fenris reversing position, getting into a good position smack in the middle of the ring, but Bude tried to counter it, rolled through though. And again, mat-based grounded offense. Just strike after strike. Fenris' style there. No muss, no fuss. Repositioning Bude a little bit, trying to pull them further away from those ropes. Advantage Bude has as a compared to those long limbs make it easier to snag a rope break, so you got to keep them as near to the center of the ring as possible. Meanwhile, Fenris just using Bude like a speed bag there and rolling through, and their submission locked in deep in the middle of the ring. Wrenched into the spine and moving back through. Rolls to, and look at the core strength of Fenris, my gods. And bridges in a pinfall real deep. 1, 2. Shoulder count up though. Shoulders up. Bude still in this. Fenris waiting. The Dark Wolf stalking her prey. And there's the Coquina clutch locked in. Bude is in serious trouble. And passes out in the clutch. And look who we have here. A little bit of a hacked feed, I think, as well. Get those out of the way, but look who's come out to congratulate her competitor. Gonna have some words back with the production truck after this, but Serenity Spider coming out, a stare down with Fenris, and that is what it's all gonna be about next week. Well fought victory by Fenris, and Serenity Spider inspiring her for the $1 Shillion title match. We'll be seeing that next week. But for now, we have plenty more matches, plenty more clout to chase, so we'll be right back after this. One-on-one action from 2 returning clout chasers up next. First up, get ready to fall and pray.
Making his way to the ring from Louisville, Kentucky, weighing in at 228 pounds, Magnificent Archangel!
The Archangel, Hawkeye, making his way to the ring. We said that last match was certainly a clash of differing styles. I think the vibe of these 2 competitors is going to be much more aligned, and we are sure to be in for a dangerous, hard-hitting match up next. Hawkeye, one of the newest additions to the AI Dub roster, but has certainly made his mark, tearing his way through the ranks. Very much a competitor to keep your eyes on this season. The Archangel versus the Weeping Woman. Fallen Angel, Rising Devil. Two extremely strong, extremely physically dominant competitors. This is sure to be a hard-hitting bout. The Crimson Butterfly Mask of Iorona. Ethereal and unknowable, much like Iorona herself. Iorona, of course, one of the few competitors on the roster that towers over Hawkeye. And grappling, locked up there in the middle. Who's going to get the better of the exchange and just simply outpowers Hawkeye. Drop kick to the back of the head. Down goes the Archangel, crashing to earth, and a very early pinfall attempt by Iorona. Didn't even get a 1 count. Not even a 1 count. I think that was more about sending a message than a serious pinfall attempt. And we're right back. A much more technical approach to this match than I was perhaps expecting. It just showcases of strength between both. Hawkeye wrenching the arm. And now the Archangel in control. Bounces the head of Iorona off the corner post. And crucifix bomb, down goes Iorona. Hawkeye rolling out of the way, sees what Iorona has in mind and snuck around and tried to sneak up behind her, but she had that coming. Back rake. And leg hook, down goes Hawkeye. Iorona now back in control. Runs in to break the ref's count and runs right back out again. Just wants as much time on the outside as possible, but Hawkeye was right there waiting. And rolls back into the ring. Easily beating the ref's count. And Hawkeye now going up to the top rope. What does he have in mind? Big, look at the air that Hawkeye, buoyed by invisible wings perhaps, and impressive core strength, hoying Iorona up and spinning her over and going again for that crucifix. Boom! Rolls over. That was an impressive sequence by Hawkeye. Is it going to be enough? And it is. It is. Hawkeye definitively puts away Iorona. Impressive sequence by Hawkeye there at the end, rolling through. We're going to watch that back one more time. This is where it all went wrong. Flying across the ring, landing that elbow strike, rolling through, and right there into the crucifix bomb, over into the corner, and that was that. Head bouncing off that corner post, knocking Iorona for a loop, and with a definitive victory.
Magnificent Archangel!
A victory that bodes well for Hawkeye. The face paint you can see rubbing off from the sweat, the exertion that albeit short match took out of him. A lot of explosive action in a lot of short time frame. Well, we have more to get up to next. We'll be right back after this.
Luz tried everything to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. Hammers, axes, magic, saws, more magic, fire, even more magic, and magic explosions. Still, the door refused her. Why? After all this time and effort, why wouldn't the damn thing open? Sure, it was an enchanted door that would open the path to a potentially catastrophic amount of magic pouring back into the universe, causing endless natural disasters that would drown or bury most cities from existence. But there was an equally high chance that wouldn't happen, and that the magic had been sealed away by ignorant fools for nothing. She had to believe there was a reason why she could tap into a sliver of the magic locked behind the door. That this was it, her singular life purpose. Open the door, restore its magic back to everyone like it used to be in the stories, where anyone could use magic, for good or bad. That had to be it, right? That had to be why she was standing here, in the door's pocket dimension, on a small plot of Earth, large enough for only one person to stand in front of it, swearing at this void-black door with iridescent veins flowing along its surface like water, living, taunting her to just open it already. So why was it so hard to swing the damn thing wide? Somehow, she had shoved the door apart just a crack ages ago. A thin, wispy line of light seeped out of a seam down the centre. Whenever she used teleportation magic, as she had decided to call it since she didn't know the correct term and hadn't seen others use it before, probably because it was dangerous and required sliding through space and time, but who was counting? She tapped into a sliver of warmth and power to travel wherever she wished. She'd managed that slight opening unthinking as a child, then never again. What was she doing wrong now? Worse, what if she wasn't doing anything wrong? What if this door wasn't meant to open for her after all? What else could there be for her but this? After everything, after all that searching, what else could there be?
This has been an extract from The Void Door by V.M. Ayala. To read the full story, please visit beneath-ceaseless-skies.com and search for issue 378. And thank you for watching Masterpiece Theatre.
Welcome back. 3 matches left on our card for tonight. And first up, our former Intercontinental Champion.
The fall is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, weighing in at 200 pounds, the X-Factor!
Sebius Doom saw off many competitors during his time as the Intercontinental Champion, but he has a daunting challenge ahead for him today. You know what this music indicates. You know who's coming. RBFS. Everyone expected the trio of Minotaur brothers to be entering this season as Double Clout champions. Shocking everyone, nobody more so than them, I suspect. It was the Deadly Dulu who had that honor. This is their first presence in Season 3, and it will be Benny, flanked by his brothers, taking on Sebius Doom. Do not discount Sebius in this match. He has been a powerhouse before, remarkably unpredictable, able to take down opponents of all shapes and sizes. RBFS may be a dominating force, but this is far from in the feedback. Well, I say this, but Sevius is getting kind of dismantled right now. We'll see if he can fight his way back into it. And locking up. Grappling, and it is, see, that's what I was talking about. It is Sevius who is able to shift the momentum and overpowers Benny. Perhaps a momentary shift in luck. His leg hooked up deep in those ropes. And arm damn near getting wrenched out of its socket. He rolls through though and uses that flexibility. Power through. Benny got knocked off balance and now he is manipulating the limb of Benny. Phenomenal showing by Sevius. But now Benny back in control. Benny able to utilize his lower center of gravity, able to utilize that limb manipulation against Benny. But when it comes down to a contest of sheer strength, unfortunately for Doom, there is only one way that ends. When you have an almost 500-pound slab of meat charging at you, you're going to go down. But Sevius countered, and impressive maneuver there, going for the submission. Doesn't matter how big you are, if you can't breathe, you pass out just like anyone else. But choke slam down to the mat, and Benny really trying to hype up the crowd, get them onto RBFS's side. And up just easily over the shoulder, release slam, down goes Sevius. That was an impressive distance to fall from, almost like falling off the top rope. In fact, arguably higher than the top rope with as tall as Benny is. And bull charge and a big bull splash in the corner. Obliterating the bones of Sevius to dust. And again, hold up over and running power slam. That may well be it. But no, Sevius kicks out, finds something deep within himself. And oh, this is nasty. Top rope by Benny. Almost 500 pounds of beef just came crashing down onto the body of Sevius Doom. And neck grip, just inflicting just that little bit of extra pain, letting Sevius know who is in charge. And rolling through, slowly hoist him up onto the shoulders. And torture rack locked in, but Sevius rolls through. Desperately clawing himself way up as Benny's brothers look on, encouraging from ringside. Reinhardt and Federico. They know what it will mean for business for RBFS if Benny can get back on top here. Catches the boot though, does Sevius. Look at the back of Sevius Doom right now. His chest too. Sevius is torn apart. Shoulder check. Keeping Benny down, keeping him grounded again, going for the choke. Cut off the airwaves to the big man. That is what you got to do. Smart strategy by Sevius. Keep moving. Don't let him get a hold of you. An amazing move there. Sevius somehow able to launch the 500 pounds Benny up for a choke slam. Phenomenal ability there by Sevius. And what does he have in mind is adrenaline firing on all cylinders. And up and razor's edge down into the corner. His knees must be sandpaper by now. And desperately hoying Benny away from those ropes. Could this actually be it? Holy balls. Sevious Doom, my man. What a showing by Sevius. I said at the start, this is not a clout chaser to underestimate, and Sevius, as always, proved me right. Benny just easily throwing Sevius around like he weighs nothing, but Sevius keeps his way into it, and somehow, this is where I thought the match was over, crashing down onto the shoulder. Sevius in real trouble. But here is the moment, grabs the bull by the horns, and that choke slam knocks the wind fully out of Benny. And 1, 2, thought it was over then, but no, and here is the final stretch of this match. With everything it takes, beaten and battered, manages somehow to get that little extra bit of adrenaline pushed through, lands that razor's edge. And 1, 2, 3, Sevius Doom takes down Benny. What a showing by Sevius. The rest of RBFS looking on, thoroughly displeased. 2 matches left to go. We have multi-man action up next before our title match main event, so we'll be back very quickly after this. Fatal 4-way showcase up next. And we start out with Damian Farna.
The following contest is a fatal 4-way match. Making his way to the ring, weighing in at that 1 pound, Slugger
Damian Farna also making his return this season. In fact, everyone in this match has yet to wrestle in Season 3. Granted, not that there's been a lot of it yet, but still. Whoever wins this match will surely cement greater opportunities for themselves in future. Much like our challenger in our main event tonight did, Jeneth Astorio, will be up after this match. Falls count anywhere against our current Sold Clout champion, DC Lasser, who is going to have to dig deep into his bag of tricks to produce a victory tonight. Showcasing the magnificent mustache, the fabulous follicles of Farna. None of his competitors tonight, however, are to be underestimated.
New York, the Punisher, Victoria Holland!
Victoria Holland flying solo as Amber Warren has departed to pursue other opportunities. We wish Amber the best in her future endeavors, but Victoria Holland is still here and still ready to fight. We saw how dangerous Victoria can be, and that is not going to prove any different throughout this season, I can assure you. A domineering powerhouse, but with a shocking level of athleticism. Victoria won to watch in this match.
And from out of this world, the Zombie!
Another underdog frequent competitor, but who has proven themselves time and time again to be a wily and dangerous competitor, the Zombie, Lucette Forrester. A high flyer, adept in many situations. Former fighter pilot, she is used to keeping her head on a swivel, which will serve her well in this fatal four-way matchup. And our final competitor is one you definitely have to keep that head on a swivel around.
From Sin City,
Banshee, the ultimate opportunist. Do not let Banshee's size fool you into underestimating her. Banshee and Lucette have had quite the history together. They know each other well. And Lucette knows exactly how little of an opening you can afford to give a Banshee. Victoria and Damien will need to learn that lesson themselves very quickly. Four clout chasers enter, only one will stand tall. This is another one of those match types where submissions are perhaps the smarter opportunity, given that you will have to keep one opponent down for a 3 count while the other two definitely do not want to let you do that. Banshee mind games out of the gate. Full tranquilo there on the outside. We immediately split up 2 and 2, and it looks like it is the larger two competitors. Farner and Holland are the two standing tall at the beginning and immediately turn their sights on each other. Farner, I think, thought he got a little bit of a better blow on Holland than he did, and she is out here making him pay for it. Lucette tried to go for a grapple, and Victoria is simply outpowering all of her opponents. But there's that wiliness I was talking about by Lucette. Knew she wasn't going to win in a contest of strength, so quickly ducked out, up the ropes, and rope-assisted strike. Hit and run is the strategy for Forrester in all of her matches, but especially this one. Launches Banshee, and there's Victoria Holland now getting her arms wrapped around Forrester, and this is exactly the situation Forrester needs to avoid. She cannot afford to get grounded, especially by one of her larger opponents. And Banshee with her favorite tool in the kit, the kendo stick. Farner, though, bringing it down, technical expertise on the outside, just mocking Banshee with that disrespectful slap to the back of the head. Banshee, though, rolls out the way through, and rolls through Fana, and there's a stiletto strike of her own. Meanwhile, back in the ring, we have Lucette trying to work over the legs of Victoria Holland. Smart strategy, keep your larger opponent down. Take out their center of gravity, that is how you win. And there it looks like it's Fana, and that is not what Banshee had in mind with that kendo stick. And they're flying through the air with incredible ease as Forrester dodging the blows from Fana and planting him down. And kisses the fist and clubbing blow. And Fana almost lost that, turned his attention to Banshee a little more. Thought he was going to go for that pin breakup a little earlier than he did. And somehow, I did not see who brought that in, but a sledgehammer has now entered the equation. Cutter by Forrester, and there's Victoria to break it up. That's what I was talking about. You have two other opponents who are going to do everything within their power to break up any pinfall, any submission. So if you can get a painful enough hold locked in to where your opponent taps immediately, that is the way to win a match like this. Lucette taking it to Victoria on the outside, and Banshee going right back for that kendo stick. Charges through and right into the ribs of Lucette, followed up by Victoria, and Banshee, an expert with that bit of wood. Fana, meanwhile, took a moment to recover in the ring. An uppercut to the back of the head of Victoria. And now it's Lucette who has the sledgehammer and coming into the fray, right to the gut of Damien Fana. Lucette taking a moment to strategize, surveying the scene, seeing what her opponents are doing, giving herself a little breathing room. Smart strategy by the zombie. Fana fights his way out, and Lucette finally sees her opening and grabs right around Banshee and plants Banshee right on the outside. Meanwhile, now Holland and Fana have made their way back into the ring. Irish whip in and big double drop kick. Down goes Victoria. Lucette right to follow up as Fana was recovering, rolls through and goes for the pinfall while Banshee is distracted by Victoria. And Banshee, too distracted. I don't think she even realized Lucette had the pinfall in there. Damien, though, barely able to get the shoulder up. Lucette Forrester almost had the match won right there. Brutalizing the ribs of the slugger, and now that kendo stick. Meanwhile, submission locked in on the outside, wrenching the spine of Banshee, but with her flexibility, not going to do as much damage perhaps as Victoria may have hoped. We have seen Banshee contort herself into position like that to do damage on opponents before, and another kendo stick. Again, Banshee's favored equalizer, but not able to get a quick enough blow on Holland. Meanwhile, Fana tried to take Lucette for a bit of a ride there, knocked himself dizzy, but 1, 2, no, not even the 2. Banshee rolled in late. Lucette, though, breaking the count up even before Fana was able to get the 2 count. Up over the shoulders and military press by Fana. Holland seeking the same and hangs Forrester out to dry and just shoves Fana. Look at the air that Victoria Holland just got on Fana. And the 1, 2, is this going to be it? No, Fana hangs in again. Fana repeatedly in trouble, repeatedly able to keep himself just barely in this match, but he is the weak link right now. Fana has taken so much damage. He has almost fallen twice. That takes a lot of energy to keep doing those late kickouts. Double axe handle, and Lucette just yeeting that kendo stick like a lawn dart, smashing it between Fana and Holland. Turns her attention back to Banshee. Fana down in the middle of the ring. Holland seeking weapons on the outside. and rolls in. Fana down, Banshee down, steel chair taken to Lucette and Fana. This could be it for Holland. This could be it. And yes, Lucette, an ilm too slow on that breakup. Just a tiny bit too slow. You could see she hit that right as the ref's hand hit canvas. But too slow tonight, meaning your victor, Victoria Holland, claims the match. We saw that first kick out from Fana there, almost had the match lost. Flying back elbow and step up kick from Banshee. Impressive athleticism. We see that Wellwind tried to go for a fall away slam, but Fana dizzied himself a little too much. It's the second time Fana almost fell. And just got that shoulder up in time. And here, the final time, picking apart the body, and you could see how close Lucette got with that, but it was not quite enough. A worthy winner of that fatal four-way. Victoria Holland putting away all her opponents. And that is an impressive victory for the Punisher, showing that she may be flying solo now, but she does not need a tag partner to inflict the punishment she is known for. One match remaining in tonight's show, and it is the big one. It is for the Soul Clout Championship. Jeneth Astorio, DC Lasser, Falls Count Anywhere after this.
Captain Turiant Guidel, Clout Missioner of All Influencer Wrestling here, and I have a question for you. Do you like robots? Do you like space? Do you like queer romance? How about gay robots in space? Then you should read Emotional Resonance by V.M. Ayala, now available in print for the first time as part of the Best American Science Fiction and Fantasy 2024. See harpercollins.com for details.
Main event time. The hardest challenge DC has faced as of yet.
The following contest is a Falls Count Anywhere match. Making her way to the ring from parts unknown.
Jeneth Astorio. Determined, driven, devastating. Jeneth looking to write the next chapter in her story, looking to cement herself atop All Influencer Wrestling as your Sold Clout champion. She has already had a dominant reign as the $1 Million Championship, a long historied rival with Lady Aria Night Valley. All of that in Jeneth's rear view now. She is at the top of the card, the top of the division, and she wants that title. DC, though, he is champion for a reason. He has put away so many competitors where you would have thought he never stood a chance, including last week. He defeated Battlestar Galactica to unify the Sold Clout titles.
From parts unknown, weighing in at
Hatamansa, the producer to the stars, and your sold clout champion, DC. Riding the vibes of the all-influencer faithful here in Los Angeles. That title around his waist, hard fought for, hard won. Will he be able to keep it? We are about to find out. Lighting things up and one, he's got that, hold on, going for another suplex, two, and full on. Three amigos out the gate and rocked right back around the waist of Jeneth again. DC keeping her off her feet. And up to the top, big spring moonsault off and going for a pinfall immediately. Only a one. That's a bold move by DC, trying to give himself a short day at the office, but I'm afraid that is only going to incense Astorio. Ducks under the way. Smart move by DC. Use the smaller stature to your advantage. Avoid getting hit. Not like that. And Jeneth now firing up. Remember, falls count anywhere. Weapons are legal. DC needs those, and he's got that sledgehammer. Brutalizing Astorio. DC needs all the equalizers he can get. And just a sit-up and just a quick punch to the head, and down goes DC. Astorio roar to the crowd. She is fired up. She is feeling this. Waiting. Stalking. And just picks DC up like a baby and tosses him down and goes for the pinfall with 1 foot. The disrespect. The disrespect shown by Astorio there. And just breaking out the steel chair. And running all the way around, trying to keep DC disoriented. Yeah, and indeed, he does not know where, and there he goes. He's realized where she's gone. Parries away the steel chair. Rolls through, quick cradle, 1. Rolls out through. Knee strike keeps Astorio down. The chair is right there. You may want to use that, DC. Going up to the top, high flying. And shoulder check right between Jeneth and that steel barrier. Excellent positioning by DC. What's he looking for? And now a kendo stick. Works over the knees of Astorio. Good move. You can't stand if you've not got knees. Remove that height advantage. And smashes into the ref. And power slam. Down goes DC. Quick kick though counters. And again, quicks it up, strike. And all it takes is 1 blow from Astorio to knock Lacer back down. And just 1 blow from the kendo stick, indeed to smash it into splinters. Tried to go for the shoulder check, and up, and good maneuvering there by DC. Used Jeneth's momentum against her. She's down on the outside. 1, 2. Could this be it? My God, DC did it! DC did it! DC Lacer produces another victory out of nowhere. Jeneth perhaps making the mistake other competitors have in the past and underestimating the Hatamansa. Splintering the kendo stick over the ankle of Lasser, and this is the turning point. He used Jenna's own momentum against her to pick up for that slam, and that was it, landing right on the head too. And it was Jenna's own confidence that cost her that match.
Your winner,
DC Lasser, and still the Sold Clout champion. Double hats to celebrate. Double hats to celebrate. DC utilizing the Falls Count Anywhere stipulation to his full advantage, using all the weaponry he could get, and it turned out to be a winning strategy from the producer to the stars, firmly once again proving why he is a star in his own right. That brings us to an end for this matchup, this evening of clout chasing action. I have been your clout missioner, as always, Captain Tyriot Guidal. We will be back next week for more clout chasing action, including Fenris versus Serenity Spider for the $1 Shillion champion. Stay safe, and until next time, as always, remember to stay #out for clout.